Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. And this is the match reaction to Everton's unexpected nil-nil draw away down at Arsenal. Um, Obviously, optimism wasn't very high going into this one, as you'd imagine. Arsenal are, haven't quite hit the heights that they maybe have over the last few seasons, but are still, a top side. And we haven't quite, been as solid defensively as we were last season, I guess you could argue. But I think that there was trademark Dyche Everton and really showed us playing to our strengths. And I think you know there was a very coherent plan. There will still be a lot of supporters that are unhappy with that plan and are unhappy with the plan and the lack of offensive threat that it maybe carries. We never really looked like scoring during the match and didn't pose too much of a threat on the counter attack at all. Really, they were able to shut us down pretty effectively. We didn't get many, corners or set pieces at all, really, which are usually our most reliable offensive threat, as it is for Arsenal as well. To be fair, I think we similarly did a pretty good job at shutting them down as well and stop preventing them from getting their set pieces. And I actually think we really exposed them as a team that aren't quite as creative as the kind of Man City counterpart that they're maybe trying to replicate. And Arteta as Guardiola's protege or whatever it is. It's not quite there yet, is it? I don't think. And I think we really showed that and really limited their chance creation, particularly in the second half. There were a few nervy moments in the first half, don't get me wrong. I think Ødegaard in particular had a few good opportunities. Saka was always looking dangerous. Um, Even with I think Mikalenko having one of his better games so far this season and mostly, shutting Saka down, there were still a few times where, Saka's quality showed and he managed to wriggle away and create something. But we just seemed to be able to take anything that they threw at us. Tarkowski, I thought in particular, had an outstanding game, probably the best game he's had for us for a very long time. Just blocking absolutely everything, heading balls away, and a real captain's performance. Similarly with Pickford behind him as ever, can always be called upon if the defence isn't quite at it, and just wasn't letting anything beat him today. I think that chance. Just right at the start of the second half, when Saka has that low shot into the near corner, probably the best chance Arsenal had all game, and Pickford was equal to it. So, yeah, really impressive from pretty much everyone on the pitch today. I thought Calvert-Lewin, was feeding off scraps and yet was still able to, wriggle away, like win loose balls and knock-ons and stuff, and really give us a bit of respite and give us a bit of chance to reset, catch our breath a little bit, and get ready to defend anything that Arsenal had at us again. And yeah, like I say, we've seen this a few times where I think we've maybe been a bit unlucky. Obviously going away a side like ours now, you expect us to be digging in and maybe playing for a point and trying to maybe just nick a goal on the counter attack or whatever. It's just kind of situation we're in now, and obviously that's frustrating, but it's just the reality of the situation. Uh, and sometimes a fluky goal goes in and suddenly we're up against it, and we have to try and go out a little bit more and try and salvage something from the game, and it often leads to us conceding three or four. I think United a few weeks ago is a prime example of that, but today we just seem to have full confidence that that we were going to be able to keep Arsenal out, and we dealt with all their corners perfectly. We've seen in the last few weeks just how much of a threat they pose from them, but I thought we dealt with them, superbly. And yeah, like I say, just everyone was on it, I think. I'd actually say one of the weaker performers was Jarrod Brantford, funnily enough. I think, a few sloppy passes here and there, but when it came to defensively, he was still pretty solid, winning some important tackles. And yeah, I still think he's maybe not fully fit, to be honest. I think that can be the only reason for why his performance level isn't hitting the heights that it did last season. But I still think there were signs, particularly today, that there's still a quality defender in there, and hopefully as he regains more match sharpness, hopefully he manages to grow back into himself a bit more and and hit the heights he did again last season. But yeah, a player ratings video I'll be doing just after this one as well, which will be going live on the Toffee Blues channel sometime after this one as well. So make sure you catch that for more in-depth thoughts into all the players' performances. But yeah, just to sum up here, I think this harks back to something that I've been saying for a long time now, and something that I know the manager truly believes in, that these things even themselves out over a season. You look back to the disappointing result against Southampton, say just a few weeks ago, losing 1-0 to probably the worst side in the league, let's be honest. And it's a catastrophic result looking back, but it's one game, and yeah, it's 3 points dropped, but today is almost certainly 2 points gained. I think if you'd asked any Evertonian before kickoff today if they'd take a point, pretty much all of them would have said yes. And so to gain that point and regain those 2 points that you think you would have lost is I think really pleasing. And there's encouraging signs the last few weeks as well. I know people will point to the Wolves result and say that no real open play goals. It was mostly just us punishing them from set pieces, which Wolves have been famously weak at defending this season. But I think defensively we're right back at it again, and just like we were last season, which was a real good safety net for us and a real good foundation to build upon. And once again, it's just trying to find that offensive spark again. I think that could see things turn around a little bit. But for me, the most important thing for me is these players are still 100% playing for Deitch, and I think that alone is reason to keep hold of him for now. And again, there'll probably be a lot of people that disagree with me on that, but it's still the reality of the situation we're in for me. I think you could tell by the lack of adventure when we had the ball um, during the game today that we know what we are, and we're not a team that can go toe to toe with a team like Arsenal yet. So with the situation that we're in, uh, I still think Dyche's the best man for the job, and the last few weeks have given me signs. I've shown signs of improvement to me, and I'm more and more encouraged now that um, we'll still be able to do enough this season to stay in the Premier League, which is, of course, unfortunately, still probably the primary objective. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on the Arsenal result and the bigger picture around it. So please leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment below giving your thoughts about the result. I'd imagine most of you would have taken a draw before the game, so hopefully we can cling on to that positive, another clean sheet, etc. And yeah, this December so far hasn't gone too badly. Obviously, we've played one fewer game than we should have by this point, and could very well have had another defeat to our name. But with the situation it is at the moment, it's not looking too bad, is it? So, yeah, subscribe to the Toffee Blues channel for more Everton content, including, as I mentioned before, the player ratings video, which I'll be recording straight after this. And we will see you in the next video. Up the Toffees.